So in this video, I'm going to show you how to run your very first Java application, a servlet. So in order for us to run these servlets, we're going to need this thing called Apache Tomcat 11. That's going to help us run our compiled servlets from Java. So those are going to be the two things we're going to install. And the third thing is we're going to install this thing called Apache Maven, which is going to help us create our projects and compile and package our code so that it's readable for something that we can deploy then on Tomcat. So the first thing we need to do is Java 23. So go to your downloads, not your downloads, but your URL here, and then click on Windows, and then x64 installer is okay. Click on download, and that should take you to your downloads folder. So once we're in our downloads folder, we'll double click on JDK23 and then click on yes to allow system changes. Once our installer is up, we'll click on next, and then we'll select or we'll just default this directory, or this installer will default the directory onto program files Java JDK23, and that's going to be the path for when we change our environment variables in a second. So once that's ready, it'll copy the new files. It should close, and then go to your environment variables. I clicked on Windows R, and then you can go to sysdm.cpl, and that should take you to your system properties, which will then go to the advanced tab, and then click on environment variables. Here is where we have our system variables. We're going to click on new. And for our variable name, we're going to do Java _ home. And our directory is going to be C:\program files. It was under Java 23, and then we'll just leave it at there. Don't go any further. So this is our path. So we'll click on OK, and then we'll go down to where it says path, and we'll click on edit. And then we'll add the new Java home and $\bin, and then we'll click OK. Let's just go ahead and move this up all the way to the top, and we'll click OK, click OK, click OK. So now we have Java installed. So we can go ahead and check that by going to our command prompt and do Java version, or we can do Java C version, and that should load up Java 23. So the next thing we need to do is install Tomcat. So this is Tomcat. We'll go to download 11. We'll click on browse. Click on 11.02 or whatever version you're running. Click on the bin, and then we'll click on Apache Tomcat whatever version .exe. That's for Windows. So once we click on that, that should load up the installer. We'll go ahead and run that. Click on yes, and then click on next to continue. We'll accept the terms and conditions. We'll do the full install. So that way we have our host manager and examples, so we can load up. And then here is our HTTP port number. If we have IIS or Internet Information Services installed by Microsoft, it might prevent or might have conflicting ports. So you might need to change your port number here. Otherwise, just leave it the way it is. We'll add our administrator login for our GUIs. So this is our regular password. We'll click on next, and this is where if you installed Java first, this should load up automatically. If not, you need to install Java first, and then you need to locate this directory, Java JDK23. That's where our Java directory is living. So this is where Tomcat is going to live in the future. And then we'll click on install. That should run Apache Tomcat as a service. And then once that's done installing, we can go to services, and then we can see that Tomcat 11 is installed and running and is set to start up automatic. If not, you can go ahead and change it, and we can go ahead and restart the service whenever we want to. So the next thing we need to do is go ahead and install Apache Maven. Apache Maven is our project manager for Visual Studio Code. So we're going to go ahead and click on the binary zip archive for Windows. So this is okay. Then once it's downloaded on your downloads, you can go ahead and extract it like I have done here. And then you double click into the downloads folder, or should I say the Apache Maven folder. Once we're inside the folder, we can go ahead and copy and paste it onto our C directory, our C drive, our root directory here. So Apache Maven 3.99 is sent to the C drive. So it should be up on the very top. And then the next thing we need to do is change our environment variables for Maven. Oh, wrong one. Environment variables. We'll click on new here, and then we'll do Maven. Maven underscore home, and then for here we'll do Maven 3.99. Click OK, and then we'll do our same thing we did for the path. For our Java, we'll do the same thing for Maven. /bin. Click OK, click OK, OK one more time. And now we have, hopefully, we have Maven installed. If not, we'll have to test it. So MVN is the shortcut. And then we can say version number. And that should load up Apache Maven with our Java as well. So the next thing we need to do is go ahead and build our first project. So let's go to VS Code. And before we do that, we're going to need some extensions. So go down to where it says extensions. And then there's going to be 7 extension packs that we're going to need. And so once we're ready to do that, we can actually exit out and come back in. So that way we see something new. So now we're ready to go ahead and create our first Java project. We'll click on, we don't need this right now. We'll click on create Java project. We'll click on Maven, create from archetype. And then we'll click on the web app version. Version 1.4. We'll call it com.servlet1. And servlet1 as our artifact ID. And then we'll locate our directory. This is where our folder, our project's going to live in. Okay, so now it's going to go ahead and create the project. So we'll click on enter, define the value for the property version 1.0 snapshot. We'll click on enter, and then press Y or enter again for the configuration to confirm it. So let's go ahead, that's already built. So we'll go ahead and open that folder, and you'll see that we have our index.jsp. So the first thing we need to do is go down to Maven, and that should load up our Maven project. Our servlet 1, we'll go to lifecycle, we'll click on clean. That should clean up our code, and then we'll click on package. That should package up our code as well. So once that's ready, it should create a servlet1.war file under your target folder. So once we're ready with that, we can go back to, oh, actually, this is the very first time we'll load up Apache Tomcat. So once we can click on Tomcat Manager, we'll add our admin and our password, or our username and password. And then we're going to go ahead and click on list of applications, click on our war file, our target, open it up. This is on the site's servlet1 target war file, and then we'll click on deploy. And that should load up, that should refresh and load up the application here. So we'll click on this. That should be our URL for our hello world. And that should be it for installing Maven, Apache, Tomcat, and Java.